Hello YouTubers. We've been away from doing videos for a while, and we thought we might do this one on the Fantic shock absorbers. These shock absorbers look in pretty good condition, but it's the first time that I will have these apart, so I'm a bit unfamiliar with them, but we'll go through the basic procedures that I know how to do them. One of the ones that I like to do, and I've said it in my other videos, is to when the legs are actually in the frame, is to undo this bottom nut just so that it's loose, and then tighten it back up so it doesn't drip. But when you go to work on them, they are usually so tight that you can't get them when they're sitting on the bench here, because they are quite hard to break. So when they're in the triple trees, you can actually get in them, give them a good hit with a hammer, and they break, and they crack open. So I did that to both of them. So we're going to work on one leg at a time. We're going to, first of all, just leave it exactly like it is and undo the bleed. This is the bleed screw here. Okay, this is where you dispose of your used oil, most of it, by pumping action, and I'll do that into the tray there. When you've got most of it out, you can undo the top nut here. There's a spring in here, so you have to be very careful. But once the oil's out, the damping rod or valve that's in here is a little bit of tension. But just be wary when you're undoing it, and don't stand over it with your face, because they can spring up. So we'll do that also, and drain the oil into the drain tin. We will look at taking off the dust cover here and finding the circlip that's in here. Once the circlip's out, you can, in some cases, hold the stanchion in a vise, and you can pull it in and out, and you can break the seal of the seal in here, so where it sits. But we'll see if we can do that. But first of all, we'll get rid of the oil for a start. So the first thing to do is actually move everything away. Bring this over here, and we'll undo the bleed screw. Now there's a wee sealing washer in behind here, so don't lose that. Had a little bit of gas in it. Well, gas, it is probably just blown up air. Okay, so we'll have a look. And already we have oil out, and looks like it's a lovely colour too, so it needs changing anyway. You can see the oil coming out, so just take your time. It's not too bad. I thought it's usually it's clear or some colour, but this seems to be a sort of a grey type colour. There you go, just about ready, all nearly out. And now all we have now is the spring. We can put that on here. As you can see, it's been used. It's in a reasonable condition, but we'll change it anyway, and we're going to clean it out anyway. So that's that. I'll just get a rag. Now, next thing's next is to take the bottom nut out. This holds everything together. Okay. I'll just see if there's any more oil can come out of that, because there's probably a little bit in the last part. I'll just have a look. No, seems to be okay. Okay. Now, we'll put it in the vise and we'll undo this nut here. Oh, before we do that, we might just have a look at the seal. This is a dust seal. So you just put your screwdriver in and just push it up. Take it out. Let's put the glasses on and just have a look at what sort of circlip we've got on this thing. Now we'll have a look in here and we'll just see what sort of circlip. It's a wire circlip or a flat circlip, so we'll have to dig that out. We'll do that in a minute. We'll put this in the vise and find an appropriate socket or spanner to do that. So we'll just put that rag around there. Now, like I've got a workbench, got a wooden vise here, so we'll open that up. Okay, so I'll put the thing in the vise, the leg in the vise. I'll just tighten that up very lightly. We'll just see if we can undo that. I might actually undo the wee bleed at the top here. We'll see how that goes. Right, I'll put the front suspension in the vise. It's a wooden vise, so it won't scratch the chrome. So we just tighten it up. I'll just undo this bleed nut at the top. And I haven't got a socket big enough, so I'll have to use this crescent. Let's see how that goes. Right, I've had to put the legs in the triple trees and tighten them up because it was just about impossible to undo these top nuts in the vise. It's exactly the same situation at the bottom with the bottom nut or the bottom bolt. You need a full clamping here, so I've done that. They are quite tight. I have to use a crescent, so I've got them undone, both of them undone now. So that's a wee trick to learn. These are really, really strong and hold it really, really good, and you can undo stuff. So we'll carry on and we'll strip this leg out and see what internals we've got. Top bolt, so top nut. So we'll take this out very carefully. Don't know what we're going to find. Should be no oil in there. Take that spring out. Now just have a look at this. So it's just a hole, and there is a bleed on the other side. I'll have to investigate that. There's a O-ring for a seal. I'll put that there. Spring. Doesn't seem to be any washer, so that must just sit on there. Now have a look at the spring carefully. See, there's any variations in the coil structure? Don't seem to be. So what I'll do, I'll get a little bit of, just to be sure that it goes the right way round, I'll get a bit of masking tape. Take a bit off. Put it around the top, just so we can identify it as being the top. Okay. Now while we're here, a bit of a look down. There should be other components down there. So what we'll do is take that out. We'll see if there's any nope. But I'm sure there is. It just doesn't want to come out at the moment. Probably comes out when we pull it out of here. So what we'll do, we'll put it back in again, and we'll try and get this O-ring, no, the circlip out very carefully. After we've taken the bottom nut out, we did previously, looking at it, draining the oil out, we can now lift the tube out. There's the other components that are in there. Okay. There. Now, basically everything is out except the seal. My glasses on so I can just have a bit of a look. Yes, everything's out now, so we can wash that out. I'll try and extract the seal out. And then I do believe it's probably because the dust cover that sits on here, they get a bit of water in here, they get a bit of water in here, and what happens is, from what I can see, is that the water sits in here, and it sort of, because that's a steel circlip, it has an effect on the aluminium here, and it sort of gets a little bit contaminated and starts to stick inside its land. So it needs a bit of prying to get it out. We've actually got more room now that the tube's out. Just feeling in here, I can feel it's a double lip seal. So what we'll try and do off camera now is we'll take this seal out and have a look at it, have a bit of inspect. If it looks okay, we'll put it back in. It didn't leak before, so it's no use replacing them just at the moment. I haven't got any anyway. So we'll do that, okay? Okay, so this circlip here, as I was explaining in the previous section, water gets in here and sits on this steel circlip. It sits in the land, so you need plenty of penetrating oil, and we found a good trick when it was in there to, if you see, there's two parts to this. When it sits there, you can get a screwdriver in just in there. So that turns back there like that. And when it's in there, you can force it open like that and use the pick as a wedge. So as it opened a little bit, force something very small in there, open it up, give it a bit more power and bring it around until you get it past, and then you just lift it up like that out of the seal and it'll pop out. So that's a good wee trick. I've got the tube out. The next move is there's a circlip there. We'll take that out and we'll see what we've got. There you go. So, what have we got here? We've got a small little land in there, which we'll clean up. We've got an aluminium spacer. That holds something like a washer and another spring and a nylon bushing which spins in a rotation way. Very smart. Now that we've cleaned everything up, it comes back to the assembly, and it's basically put back like it was. So push that back into there. It all compress anyway. Put the circlip on, line up the holes. Here it's snap into place. I always like to just push them around to see that they rotate. So that when they're in the land, you can see that they're rotating. So that's basically that. Push that back in. Now, next thing, put this aluminium structure in here. A little bit of grease just to ease it in on the seals. Probably put a bit on there too, because just got to get past that seal. I don't want it to damage the seal. Just rock it in like that. Position it. hopefully we can put this on. Just give it a little clean up. The next time we do it, get the washer. Just do this up like that at the moment. Just back. As we said, we've got some tape on here to note the top. Alright, now we put the tube in. Into the tube we put the spring, noting the correct way it goes in. Tube up. Bit of grease on the O-ring. Now, just put that in loop because we're going to take that out again. And while we've got that there, we will put some grease on this circlip, because last time we took it out, it was all rusty. Very careful, don't touch the chrome. Just push it down like that, work your way round and round. So it goes into its land. Need a little bit of a knot. Okay. Make sure it's back into its position. Okay, take that out, and don't forget to put the bleed screw in. With its little sealing washer. That's basically it. Put the cap on. We haven't got the oil in yet, but we'll do that later. And that's that one done. Here are some
some photographs of general things that I wanted to prime up before we put the final coat on them. You may have seen in the previous photograph there are a couple of levers and stuff that I wanted to paint black. These are the primed up, hanging, ready to be painted in red in the container on string, so I can get round. Here's a photograph of the Chinese shock absorber they got. We had to cut off the fish end of one of them because it weren't quite long enough. You can see it's 30mm there, the other one was only about 25, and it did hit the swing linkage arm there, as you can see there. So here's me cutting off the old linkage, cleaning it up, and here's a bit of threaded rod that I got machined up.
Now we've set up the axle here with new cam chain adjusters. I've had to do a little bit of work on this axle. Had to re-thread the ends, clean them all up where somebody's bashed the ends of the axles to get them out of the wheel. The other thing that we're mostly going to set up at the moment, I've got this new shock absorber ex-China. I'm adapting. It's about 20mm longer than the existing one. As you can see, the other one's a monster. I'm hoping this will work. This is a thinner spring than this one. I don't know what the force is. It's a bit of a guess, but it's reasonably cheap shock absorber. So what I've had to do, it came with this adapter, which is pretty good, pretty much similar to the other one here. The shock absorber from eye to eye, when this was on at the smallest point, was about 320. This one was about 300. So we've got a 20mm of playing around. What I've had to do is I've had to make a threaded rod. This is 16 with a pitch of 1.25, which is an oddball pitch. So I've had to put that in the lathe and get that done. And I made one here that's in here, which I'm going to weld to the bottom of this here. So it goes up about 20mm, and I'll extend it into where I cut the old one off, the old fork here. So I'm just testing it at the moment to see if I've got enough clearance, because I'm trying to lose 20mm, which is quite hard to do. So it might just pinch, this bracket might just pinch on this top of this link. So I'm just got a cramp on here and I'm just trying it, and when it goes up, it's got clearance under here, but I'm not sure. You can see the photograph here of the aptitude of the bike with all the weight on, what extends when the weight goes down, what I've got. So it's a bit of an experiment, but we're just going to go through it. The bike's now ready to paint the frame. I've got new nuts, bolts here, everything's sort of organised, ready to go. But that'll be, you'll probably see some video of that later while I was painting, or some still shots. So we'll leave that for now. Thank you.
The following photographs are just some general photographs of me painting the frame bits and fork legs, triple trees, all sorts of little bits and pieces that make it quite a nice read, as you can see. So just enjoy those photographs, and we'll call it a day for this video.